All right, we could jump into whatever you guys want to jump into first. Also, I will throw in that we have a guest, and honestly, if he wants to recur on it a lot, because I find him very fun, honestly, so far. Brandon Jordan. I was really afraid
It
I
is
was gonna
I.
say Jordan Brandon, and then I was like, please to God, don't say it wrong.
Yeah, no, as soon as I saw Tyler post about it on his story and I watched the first couple of minutes of the pod, I was like, yeah, I need to be on this.
Hell
So
yeah, hell yeah,
thanks for having me on.
anytime. I like it. I hope that this podcast gets more traction because I mean I think everybody has a good personality and we like a lot of things nerdy. So
Very much so. A four-headed monster. Um, so should we talk about long legs or shall we talk about Alien?
we can do a brief. What is it?
You can ask about those legs all you want.
We can do a brief long leg since Tyler hasn't seen it. I think Tyler would probably like it on the aspect of like how
Mhm.
now he works, government wise. I'm not going to blast whatever you do because I don't know if you want that, but fuck it.
Let's just dox him.
They're in the walls, type thing. But
Yeah.
um, I quite liked it. I like the suspense of it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it a couple times to really wrap my head around like the satanic part of it because there's a lot of things that I questioned, but I do like the thriller aspect of it and the psychological. I did not expect the ending, and I want I hope that they don't just leave this as like a one off. It's fine if they do, but I would like to know more about the Longlegs character in general.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's one of the reasons why I've definitely have not rewatched it 3 times, was because I just felt like with every subsequent rewatch, there's more and more to pick up on, especially like you said, the satanic aspects. And this isn't really um, anything that gives away too much about it, but I was just interested to see what how much of it you picked up on, because every time that I've rewatched it, I've noticed more and more. Did you notice the devil in the background
Yeah,
some scenes?
I did. The shadows and kind of like how it fades away, and it would kind of like reoccur, but kind of darker and darker. Unless I'm just my mind's
Hmm.
fucking thinking that it does, but
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I haven't really thought about that, but I would love if they like had any sort of spin-off media regarding that property, whether it be like a graphic novel or books or just anything. I'm not sure what they could do as far as like a another film. I mean, I'd be interested because there's so many good characters. I feel like that could be tapped into, but yeah, I have definitely not rewatched that 3 times, and I'm not obsessed with it, and I haven't made it my whole personality.
I think like you saying that a spinoff. I think they could absolutely do a spinoff of the mother because they're the years that they show that she's doing what she's doing. I'm not trying to spoil too much, and
Yes.
plus I will say that whoever watches this, there will probably be spoilers of things, but since we keep it kind of low on spoilers for other people that don't watch it, that's for you to watch if you want to or not to with spoilers. But I think she would be a great example because I thought she was
That's
very
excellent.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about that aspect. You could absolutely do a series or like a movie on that. I mean,
Mhm.
that's really cool. That could definitely be something. There's a lot to dig into, so whenever you guys get to watching it, I mean, I feel like it's something, like I said, you can watch over and over again and pick up different details on.
Mhm. Definitely
I
leaves you
did really
questioning.
good. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just spilled my shit everywhere. I was kidding. A little bit. It was a little
I
spill.
did I did really good avoiding spoilers for Long Legs. I mean, it's not like a movie I feel like I have to worry too much about it, but the new Sabrina Carpenter song, I guess on her like new album, it's like who's the cute boy in the white jacket with the cute accent or something? You know the song I'm talking about?
I think I know. I've heard it like maybe once or twice.
It was a trend on TikTok where it took that quote from the song and shows what Nicolas Cage's character looks like in the movie. And I was like, this is how I get spoiled.
I think I've seen one of those just like a single time because as soon as you said that, yeah, it's an intriguing movie. Like his look is what really brings me into like wanting to know more about him. Like honestly, he's just such a unique character to look at in general.
So what was your like I just wonder how you take things as opposed to me. Like what was your initial like just kind of inner reaction whenever there was that cutaway in the opening scene where it's got that music cue and it kind of reveals him,
Oh,
if only a little bit.
I when like he says uh what did he say? I didn't.
It's just like him at first it's him just like breathing
Mm,
and then he just kind of like introduces himself to the
like
girl.
I didn't I didn't wear my long legs today or something along the lines of like that. I thought
Yes.
I thought that was like, oh wow, this is gonna be a little bit more creepier than I thought because I
Yeah.
didn't expect it to start off that way. Um, I love the atmosphere of that scene, and this is like one of those scenes I love to look at because everything is white. You know, the background's white, the house is white. He is like everything. His attire is white. His face is pure white. Hair, I loved it. Every little thing, it just like looked like a painting almost. But the way they introduced him, I really liked because that like even now like bringing it up like that stapled his character for me when he said that because I was like this guy's creepier than I initially thought it was going to be.
Yeah, just you even saying that line, I mean, it does just kind of like give me chills just because just his delivery and definitely what you said as far as like the how the shots were composed and stuff. Like I just love that like bleak white
Mm,
landscape with the house and another thing I actually saw this on Twitter, a detail that I didn't notice whenever I rewatched it was whenever she's looking at his station wagon and you hear the noise, you can actually see him peeking around the corner of the house in the background. So I I love that sort of stuff,
mm.
and the details you can pick up on.
I didn't notice. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again and just like really focus on everything. Uh, I don't know if any of y'all have watched it, but this movie had given me such a big vibe of the TV show Hannibal. It was just like as if they picked out a serial killer and just kind of like dropped it in his own movie. And if you haven't watched Hannibal, that's a really good show. It's just about Hannibal Lecter, but those I think 3 seasons they had was really good, and it's like psychological and a really good thriller, mainly behind the wheel of Hannibal. But that it really felt like a like just a character out of that universe, just tossed out into its own film.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'll have to cash app Tyler Bell $20 to rent it, even though he
Watch it
watches
legally.
like 30 movies a day.
Oof, shots
Anything
fired
I
there.
watch is usually included with a subscription. Amazon Prime, MGM, Max.
Somehow Pornhub got
MGM is
thrown in there.
crazy, but betting bros,
It's a subscription somewhere down the line.
I'll own the movie, I'll own the Blu-ray or whatever, and I feel like I'm like psychotic because I'll have like multiple different copies. I'll buy a like I bought a bootleg of Godzilla minus one because it was taking so long for the American release. and I still went ahead and bought the official release of it. So I just got all these duplicate movies.
Hell yeah.
There's actually, I actually got two of the same movie right here because I bought one for myself and I bought one as a gift from my buddy, but I meant to get the Blu-rays and not DVDs. So in total, I bought four of the same movie. So we'll ignore my
Hey,
unreasonable spending.
don't feel bad there. Like initially, when the 2019 Hellboy movie came out, the garbage trash can movie of Hellboy for the fucking billionth time, but I bought like the two still books, and then I think I got like the regular DVD. So it's like I'll do that sometimes too because I just like I'll like the art or I'll like the movie so much, even though I didn't like that movie so much. I swindled myself into thinking I need it. So
Yes. I love your rendition of Hellboy, by the way, on your page that you got.
oh the Gray Valley. I was about to say something completely wrong. That's not mine. My brain's not working. So, yeah, it's yeah. There's some good stuff. I always look at the crap and I'm just like garbage.
And
But
the art that you posted today, Art the Clown was
Art's hard.
really fire as well.
the
I love the ghost face.
ghost. But yeah, I was trying to do something different. I see everybody try to do like the black with the red inside. I was like, I just want to do a red one. Fuck it, just see what that looks like.
Hmm.
It was funny though today. One of my friends from work that the place I used to work at, he texted me. He was like, "Oh, you're having another kid? I had to find out through your shitty art, the clown on Facebook." He was just joking, but I was just like, "Damn!" That was so fucking funny when he said that. But
That's awesome.
so, Chads.
You need to do one of long legs, dude.
I didn't think about doing long legs. I have a list on my phone of retro horror films like Dracula and all them, like the regular stuff, and then the new
Nice.
age of like art and stuff. Um,
Hmm.
I'm doing them slowly. I haven't been hashing them out like I used to, just because of I kind of get burnt out really easy. So I just here and there. But yeah, no, long legs will be fucking fun because how goofy his face looks. So
Especially in your style too, like that would go hard.
yeah, I'm slowly finding a style. More of like a heavy line type. I don't know how to explain it, but it's getting there.
I really like
Definitely.
the Batman. They kind of look like, I don't know how to describe it more than like just like a doped up Batman.
I love how
That's
you
Or
just
say
like
just
how I
chin.
describe it.
Just
Yeah.
chin.
I love how you said that, the doped up. Because my wife was like, I showed her the one I was just working on today. Because I do it for practice more than anything, just to see if I can actually like do something different, if I can get it out of here. She was like, "Yeah, I like that. He looks like he's on meth, but it's like this new one. I'm just fucking around." I was just like, I love it. I don't
That's
know why.
awesome.
I just did a little drawing on my wife's finger, I think, when like months back or last year, and it was just a rendition of a methed out looking Batman. And I kept looking at it driving home. I was like, I have something there that I need to fucking do more. And then it's just turning into like stupid shit that I like to do. But
I really enjoyed when you did the Finn one as Ash Williams.
yes, dude. Not to
You
make
need
this
like a
about me,
crossover.
guys. Not about, but um, I want to go back to the adventure. I think I love doing the Adventure Time style and then mashing up different characters. I want to do like a whole flash piece of like different Star Wars characters, like Finn as Luke, and just different like franchises, but the Adventure Time style because it just fits. It just doing Ash was random. I just sat down one day and drew him, and I was like, oh, this could be fun. Haven't done another one since, but I've been thinking about it ever since. So it's how life works, I guess. So.
Is that on your page?
The Finn, yeah, it's yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Let's see here.
I somehow have not seen that.
I think it's one of like the older ones. You might have to go to like the album and see it in there.
I think he's like I'm pretty sure he's liked some of my stuff. I think I might follow him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, you found it? Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that a long time ago.
It's not focusing, but yeah.
I try
That's
to
awesome,
I
dude.
try to do some different wacky stuff because I see like a lot of the tattoo stuff, and I'm not saying like I'm ever going to become a tattoo artist. I want to be, but like if it doesn't go anywhere, I would like to just do stupid little illustrations that just one off. So it doesn't matter where it goes. So
Consider yourself having some real estate on my leg because I got quite a bit on my leg. Some of which I'm like,
what I tell everybody that either like one of my stuff or say that I'll let you tattoo me. It doesn't have to be me. If you see anything that you like enough to get tattooed, go for it. Let an artist do it. I will wholeheartedly like support that, and just as long as like you take a picture and tag me, I'll fucking eat that shit up. It could be anything you want. I mean, fuck. So
I've thought about like having you commission you for some work because I'm debating getting a tattoo, and I've been thinking about like something like One Piece or like some sort of anime kind of style, just to see what you could come up with.
I could definitely give you a rough sketch of something or something that I may think that's good, and I wouldn't. And this is to everybody watching. I'm not going to really like if anybody would gain interest. I'm not going to make you like send me money or anything. I'll just whip you up some and send it to you because I don't. It's not about money. It's just about having fun with it. Because I've had people like, I'll give you $20 or 15 to do this. I'm just like, I don't really, I don't want to do it for the money. I just like it for the experience. Um, I just don't, I don't want to give you something that you're paying me for, and then after you get it done, you're like, I should have probably went to a professional because I overthink it a lot. So it's whatever.
yeah, let's not talk about the time I commissioned a dude to do an Arthur Fleck Joker and paid him like $50, and it was like not at all what I was really wanting. And already paid the dude. I was like, oh yeah, dude, that's like awesome. Appreciate that. But
Dude,
it is what it is.
given how my brain works right now, and this is just how
Oh no.
dumb I am, and how my brain just like turns something and twists it. When you said Arthur, obviously I don't know where that came from, but Arthur Fleck, my brain automatically went to Arthur Morgan into Joker, and I was like, that okay. I don't know
Yo,
why.
hold up, let him cook.
But I was just like, that's interesting. And then my brain was like, Arthur, I'm having speech problems. Fuck you, Tyler.
It is Tyler.
But I thought it was unique. But yeah, my brain does not work.
Yeah, now actually that's what I want is Arthur Morgan as the Joker. So
Can't help you there.
that's definitely altered my brain chemistry. I think you can.
I
think that's a down the line.
I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate it. What do you guys want to be the next topic? Without spoilers, Chad, what do you think of Beetlejuice?
It was a good movie if you enjoyed the first one. It kind of, continues the story, and it's good to go back to that universe. But it's something that's like not like, oh, this isn't movie of the year. I gave it like a solid like 7.5, maybe an 8, because there were some parts that were really good, and I felt like there's some parts that were really slow. Like the ending, it took forever to get through like one scene, and if y'all watch it, you'll see what I mean. But no, all the characters were great. I liked Willem Dafoe's part, even though it wasn't super major. He still contributed to the story, and it was interesting to see him take on that sort of role whenever you watch the movie.
I've only seen the trailers and one spoiler, which I'm not going to say, and it was somewhere that I did not expect it. I've told Tyler and Chad, and it was NECA.
NECA, yeah.
And I was like, it was the same week that they released the movie, and it was like, what the fuck is this? Why are we spoiling it so soon, even if you're trying to get this product out. What the hell? And it's just like nowadays, it feels like spoilers are so just throwaway now. Like you can't wait. Well, I mean, I could say like maybe Marvel. The fans there sometimes they're like, you got to wait this amount of time before you can post stuff. I'll see that on Twitter sometimes, but other movies now it just seems or lately it seems like here's the spoiler. Big company that wants to sell stuff. Here's a spoiler. I mean, why are we doing this? It feels like the movie industry has changed so much that it's hard to really not have people do spoilers anymore. I know people used to go like say what spoilers are, but now it's just every app you go onto, you've got to be super cautious that same week if you want to watch something.
Open TikTok and there's just 25 spoilers about the
Yeah,
same thing.
it's crazy.
Star Wars posts on their social media
Yeah,
spoilers for the episode that came out at 3 a.m. and they'll make the post at like 10 a.m.
I forgot they did that
with like
recently.
the character that appears in this episode is going to be on the poster for this week. Like,
It was
no.
well, it was a fucking Anakin. They did that too, or somebody. It was in Ahsoka. It's like fuck. That was hilarious.
Well, they knew, at least with Anakin, it's like you kind of expected it. So it's not like the biggest shock in the world, but you're still
Yeah.
like, you could have waited the like 3 or 4 days you normally
There's different ways
before
to
you post it.
like monetize
Uh,
it in a way that'll get people drawn in than showing Anakin's face on the fucking poster. God, man.
a different one that I'd seen as far as like means of a spoiler was for the new Wolfman movie they got coming out in January. It was
Like
they
the
showed.
design.
I don't know. Okay, so someone made a good point. I don't know if that's like the final Wolfman design or that's more or less maybe the one that shows up kind of in the first half of the film to actually, give to the dad the wolf man shit. Like it might just be like the first iteration of the wolf man. It might not be like the final design because, and I hope so, because that's like, that did not look like at all what I was hoping for or expecting.
Speaking of that, I actually started watching The Invisible Man last night,
The one
like the
that's like
newest
the Get
interpretation.
Up, like the
I mean, I'm only like an hour into it.
The one with Elizabeth Moss, the one that came out like
Yeah.
recently. Yeah,
Mhm.
made by the same dude, Lee Winnell.
I don't know if I watched that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, dude.
I might have to watch that tonight then.
It's a really good iteration on like an old story. They like kind of like retells it in like a good modern way, nothing like too like overtly modern. And that came
It's
out
not
like right
Blumhouse.
before COVID.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's Blumhouse, but it doesn't feel like a Blumhouse movie.
exactly. Came out like right before COVID, and I'm glad about that because it didn't like die at the box office like it did relatively well.
The Wolfman thing. Yeah, that the costume design kind of threw me off when they showed it because I didn't when they showed the video that I saw on TikTok of the actor or whoever's underneath the suit just kind of like moving around and such. I thought that was honestly just my first thought when I saw it. I thought it was just like somebody showing off their Halloween costume. I saw it and I was like, that's pretty neat, or like a short film type thing. And then like I guess the following day they released the trailer of it. I still haven't watched it, but um, it's definitely like an interpretation that I didn't think about what you said. Like it could have been the first person that led on to like the next one. I didn't think about that, which that'd be a nice direction to go on.
Yeah, so you're not just outright getting a spoiler.
Mm.
Whenever I first initially seen it, I thought it was your average Florida man because that was not screaming Wolfman to me at all. I mean, that was just like kind of nuts. So, I mean, that's what my headcanon's going to be telling me until January is I really hope that's not the final design because I've seen a lot of people like draw comparisons to the Wolfman and Van Helsing,
Mm.
like a design like that, like a practical design would be like really awesome. with like a big budget today.
Yeah, Van Helsing's Wolfman was pretty tight back in the day. That movie, I still
What?
feel like the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing should have got like a second movie. I'm just a fucking nerd for that one. So
Honestly, it fits that like mid 2000s aesthetic so well, and I'm sure it did good. I watched like the first 20 minutes of it. For whatever reason, didn't finish it, but like I was with it. I was vibing with it.
it's yeah, definitely has the aesthetic of, I don't know, it's just very nice, pleasing.
The new Wolfman design, when I saw it, it kind of gave me like Wrong Turn, like hillbilly vibe.
It does.
Honestly,
Yes.
It really does. I kind of like the closer the camera got to the face, I could see more of like a structure, I guess, like a pre-structure of a Wolfman or something. But
Hmm.
farther away, like it does just look like your normal hillbilly that you'll find in West Virginia here. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, let's hope Universal Halloween Horror Nights didn't just give away a really disappointing costume design reveal at the end. So,
I was back. I don't know how long ago it was when they were talking about um doing like what was it called? They were getting all like the monsters again, like Dracula and Frankenstein. They were gonna make a trilogy maybe or whatever it was called, and now it's like a ride at Universal or something now or somewhere. I can't
well,
remember.
well, I knew they were gonna do the Dark Universe, and Tom Cruise's The Mummy kind of shit the bed, but they did Lee Winnell's Invisible Man, and it's been like kind of a drought as far as like reiterations of like the classic monsters and stuff. Um, I was really hype for the last voyage of the Demeter.
I
Thought
like
that
that
was kind
movie.
of like its own thing. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I was
Hmm.
necessarily anticipating.
Yeah, I agree there.
I meant to get to that one.
It wasn't something I was for sure expecting when watching the movie, but it was an okay watch. Man, it's a lot of those scenes I forget now because it's been a minute since I watched it. Because I didn't go back to it. I watched it once because I was really hyped for it. But now that we're talking about vampires, what just popped in my head was Nosferatu is coming out. I forgot about it. I'm excited for that one.
That's December, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think Christmas Day. If
Yeah,
Christmas is on a Friday, yeah,
that
Yes.
who is what is Nosferatu played by the same guy that plays it? What's his name?
yeah,
Um,
um,
Bill Skarsgård.
Yes.
yeah.
I knew about that, and I'm excited for that because he's just good at playing monsters, for the most part.
Yeah, and the director Robert Eggers, he is just like the king of like some gothic horror. So he is actually like absolutely going to thrive in that sort of environment because it kind of like gives me brings back kind of like the similar aesthetic to like The Witch because he did so good with that. So I can only imagine when you're actually in like the pinnacle of like a horror gothic sort of environment.
Yeah, that one's gonna be super fun, super fun. Hopefully we can get like a good Frankenstein too, maybe down the line. That would be. I want something very horror vibe with that instead of like action packed type shit.
Well, I know there's is it Andrew Garfield or Jacob Elordi? One of those two are supposed to play Frankenstein's
Hmm.
monster.
Never mind. I forget that there's a Frankenstein
I
thing
forgot
going
about
on
that too.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it? Fucking Christian Bale. That's the Frankenstein. No.
Okay, so are there two different Frankensteins going on? Because I know there was like so much jumbling as like who's gonna play it. I think there might be two different ones going on because I did hear about Jacob Elordi, and then I did hear one about Christian Bale, and I think Andrew Garfield is gonna play Dr. Frankenstein,
So
if I remember
okay.
correctly.
There may be too, because like I know I've seen images of Christian Bale like with the full get up of like hiding his face and all that stuff. That's the one I remember
Yeah.
the most. I don't know much about the Andrew Garfield stuff, but huh. I completely forgot about the Frankenstein stuff. God.
I did too until you were talking about this, and then I was like, you said Frankenstein, and I was like, wait, I've literally, I feel like in the past like week,
Yeah.
seen
Tyler's got
this.
the inside scoop. Yeah, I forgot I also seen that screen grab of the Christian Bale posing for that. So that's just really crazy. I mean, that's awesome because it's been long overdue for some good like Universal
Mhm.
monster reiterations. I'm yearning for a Creature from the Black Lagoon one here soon.
Yeah, I was hearing some information about that. Just don't give me fucking I Frankenstein or something, whatever the fuck they did, like or whatever
Right.
else they have. That's just like let's do action or what was it, Witch Hunter with Vin Diesel? Like why are we doing this shit?
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter
Yeah, that's
has
another one.
entered the chat.
Like, what what is this? God, but I'm
Did y'all
excited for
watch
that.
Renfield?
I did watch it. I did watch it. Has have you watched it, Chad? Chad's quiet.
I started it, but I never finished it.
It was from what I remember, it was when it
It had good
became
action sequences, but other
Mm.
than that, I was still like, eh.
yeah, it had like good points that I was interested. Like I would much have rather Nicolas Cage just and the other guy Renfield just stayed in the time period that it began at the very beginning of like them in the old black and white kind of thing. That I was into. Then when we got to like the you have to do all this stuff to keep me alive, and it was kind of like mixed in with the comedy horror. Oh, uh, it kind of was falling off for me because I was like, I liked it when it tiptoed into the horror aspect instead of the comedy aspect. That's where it really drew me in at, because I felt like sometimes it meshed good, and then sometimes it was just like, I don't.
That's how I felt. Like I enjoyed some of the parts I watched, and other times I couldn't connect with it, and I was like, this is decent.
And that's what makes me sad is because Nicolas Cage is actually related to the original Dracula, and I was just like, you could have continued the bloodline instead of making like a comedy horror slash type like slasher thing, or not slasher but like a action pack thing. The action was cool though, and the gore was really cool. I think I had just the same problem as Chad. I just couldn't connect to it. Did you find it better or a better connection?
No.
No, it was. I don't know. It was a fun watch. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was when I saw the trailers, I was interested in it for the most part, but it just kind of fell short for me.
I feel like just in the past like 2 years, there's been like a resurgence of like vampire,
Yeah,
just
Mm.
general IP like that. Last Voyage, um, Night Shift.
I didn't watch it. Wasn't that about the two
That was
cops or
another.
something?
Yeah, he's like a vampire hunter cop kind of
Yeah,
thing. I don't remember much about it, but it was a Netflix movie. I don't really
I saw the
expect much
trailer.
out of those. Yeah,
It looked
it
it
was
looked,
fun.
it looked like something that'd be just like a fun sit down watch and move on. I guess. Oh,
I feel like there's other vampire movies, but I can't think.
I yesterday. It's like I guess a cult classic. I'm not too sure. I watched for the first time because they were saying it's like H.P. Lovecraft type vibes. I saw a TikTok and they're like, if you like H.P. Lovecraft, these are the movies to watch. And I heard a lot about The Void over the last couple years. Never watched it. I've only seen like the artwork for it, and that's a pretty good like little horror flick of kind of your generic. There's some type of infection, going on, but there's like a cult involved with it, trying to get to like tap into like another worldly type thing. It kind of reminded me of Hellraiser at the very end, but if you guys are into like just like little cult classic horror movies, which I think Tyler is, pretty sure
You say it, The Voyage.
The Void.
Oh, The Void. Oh, okay. I thought you said The Voyage. I've heard of The Void, but I've not watched it or
I've
anything.
heard it
No.
many times, like over the years, and I've never sat down to watch it. And I was just like, fuck it. I saw it for like the 100th time on TikTok, and of course TikTok is like my, it tells me what to do. So I watched it, and I was like, it's not bad. It does remind me of like H.P. Lovecraft, so I'm all in for it.
Yeah, I've always heard about The Void, but I never watched it. But I have heard that is like peak like Lovecraftian kind of like in sort of like a film aspect.
Mm. It's pretty decent. I'm not gonna say it's like great, but it definitely like piques your interest in like you want to know more about the creatures and all that. And I'll always fall in love with that type of stuff if I find the backstory of a creature or a monster or some type of horror person intriguing. I'll kind of want to dive deep into it. That's kind of what hooked me with Terrifier. I was just like, what the fuck is up with this creepy clown dude? And then 2 came out. It was like, what the fuck is really up with this clown dude? So it's worth a watch if you want to watch it. It's on Tubi for free, surprisingly.
Nice.
Or any of
My
you pop
dad.
in the bucket.
What is that?
That
The Terrifier bucket.
this is the big topic of conversation. Can I fuck the Terrifier 2 or Terrifier 3 popcorn bucket?
If there's a hole, there's a way. So I'm just saying. Not failed me
I
yet.
mean,
That makes me sound super creepy.
can someone find out the release of the Terrifier 3 popcorn bucket ASAP? Thank you.
Well, I know it goes up for pre-order on Friday.
You can pre-order the bucket?
Mm-hmm.
Is this like
Comes out September 18th.
Can you always pre-order buckets, or is this like the first one?
I think usually you have to go
Wednesday.
to the theater to pre-order it or like buy it in general.
Thank you,
But I know
Chad.
Damien
You're welcome.
Leone,
Get to.
Damien Leone posted you could pre-order it at Cinemark's website.
And like the ones we got closest in Nitro, isn't it? Like the something.
I think in Barbersville. Is that Cinemark?
So
Taste Valley? I thought there might be. There's a theater in Taste Valley?
there is a theater in Taze Valley. I don't believe it's a Cinemark. I believe the one in Barbersville is a Cinemark.
Yeah, I was gonna get like one of the Wolverine and Deadpool buckets, Deadpool and Wolverine. And I just never did. But when my wife and I looked online, it was either like somewhere out there that sold some, but we just never went to that one.
Now you want to talk about a fuckable bucket?
All holes. I don't care. I'll
I mean,
holes.
that was like mouth hole. That was suggestive bucket. We said September 18th on the bucket, Chad.
Yep.
I'm gonna mark that on my calendar.
Fuck yeah. That's gonna be an
Reddit never lies.
Like I said, pick up 2.
exclusive Jabbas Dungeon bonus video.
I
We
get my
need to
hands on it
do.
first.
Yes, we need to do like a tier list of fuckable buckets. I mean, if you all don't want to participate in how fuckable a bucket is, I mean, I'll gladly be the demonstrator. Because there's the Terrifier 3 popcorn bucket, there's the Alien Romulus popcorn bucket, there's the Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn buckets, and there's the Dune Part 2 popcorn bucket, which was really the jumping off point for buckets that look like suggestive holes.
And don't
You
watch
know?
it as a plain regular bucket, you know?
There's multiple
Just go to
cocks in
Lowe's,
that
pick one
bitch.
up, and
Exactly.
figure out what you can do.
Now, you said the alien one. Now you can either fuck it or you can get fucked by it because how long that motherfucker is. So just depends on how you want to go about it.
This is why we need a tier of just how crazy you could get with these buckets. I don't know where the art one is, like the hole. I think the entry point is in the back of his head.
It's on top, isn't
Ooh.
it? Like his hat opens.
Imagine if they did like a bucket for the second one where he like has that bullet hole in his head.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you talking about a fun time?
If the hole was the bullet entry point in his head, that's where you had to get your popcorn out of.
You digging in there, bro.
Do you think the Dune Part 2 marketing people knew what they were doing with that suggestive ass bucket?
I would hope that they did, and they thought like this is gonna get trendy real quick. So, like, hear me
It
out.
really did.
But I was
It
fucking
really
my fleshlight last night, and I just had the wildest fucking idea.
They're sitting there in the board meeting. They're like, guys, I'm onto something.
Did they make one
I
for
would assume it
Beetlejuice?
was like. I think the Beetlejuice one is the snake. The one
That
I've seen is
works.
like the snake. The same.
Nice.
I will be right back. You guys continue on. Let's go and get something real quick.
We're gonna have to add the Beetlejuice one onto the
The sandworm.
onto our onto our
Our tier list.
eventual tier bracket. I feel so left out on the popcorn bucket trend because there's so many that are coming out, but I feel like they're so hard to obtain.
Mm-hmm. And then you look on
Have
like
you?
eBay or something, they're like $100. You know, it's like
I know
watching.
it's crazy. Tyler, have you seen any in the wild up there at your theater?
No. I feel like my theater doesn't even get like the generic, like little tin. You know, they don't just slap the movie on it. I feel like I don't even see those.
Yeah. I will say, whenever we went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine, how they had that little pop up like comic stand there. Even though I'm sure they were like price gouging out the ass. I mean, that was a pretty cool little setup they had there. I wish more theaters would do stuff like that.
I mean, that guy's tried to sell me like vintage like Star Wars stuff from the 70s, and he's like, I'd get you, original Kenner Falcon, about $3,000, and I'm like, do I look like I have $3,000 just to drop?
Yes.
No,
Oh.
not on, not on a Millennium Falcon.
I was gonna say he would see your office there, and he'd be like, yes.
Yeah, you do. Well, I only collect modern day Star Wars.
Yeah, you're not messing with the Kenner. It was Kenner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really mess with like the retro lines that much.
I've got an old Chewbacca. Where is he? Yeah. I think he's like maybe Legacy Collection. It's like 2006. No year. No, there's no year on him. Oh, 2004. That might be like Legacy Collection or the original trilogy collection. Early 2000s, but that's as old as I go back.
I'll let you keep all that. I'll just keep all my Funkos.
Yeah, you're like 0 points of articulation.
Hey, there's some up there that's worth like $200. So
Dad, what's your most valuable Funko Pop? Go.
I think it's $240, and I bought it when I originally got it back in like 2020. It was $20, and it just
Mhm.
shot up because they discontinued it.
What was it? Well,
It's one
yeah,
of the
what is it?
Marvel ones, I think. I can't remember who it is, but because I have like a whole like section just dedicated to like certain pops and stuff like that. I have a one
Yeah.
piece one that I think's worth like 130, 140. So there's some up there.
Yeah, I was into the Funkos before I really got into much like figure collecting as far as like Hasbro, McFarlane, and NECA. But I didn't even realize how big of a deal it was to get a Chase. I got a Chase back in like 2014 or 15 for Christmas of Michael Myers.
Okay.
It was like a glow in the dark mask. So I think that's my most valuable one, but I'm not sure what kind of realistically how much you could sell it for.
I'll say I just dropped. It was like 150 over the weekend for two pops. Because I got one, it was like 90, and then the other one I got in half because it was like buy one get one half off. So not the smartest decision, but I bought them.
Yeah. Well, I definitely didn't buy this Deadpool mask for the sole purpose of wearing it to the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine, and just out last minute. That definitely didn't happen. That's not. That's not canon.
You know, I knew
No,
someone that also had a Wolverine
that is
costume that
not.
they were going to wear, and I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't know who that would have been. That's a crazy move.
Now I was gonna be the Ferris Bueller Deadpool, and I use the shit out of my Ferris Bueller robe. I unironically wear that as like my lounge robe now. So I mean,
It's a win.
it's a win.
My mask just sits back there with the Michael masks.
It's just like you see it back there on top of the Wolverine popcorn bucket, mouth open.
Suspicious liquid dried up out of it.
Oh,
Probably get like a 3D model of just the lower half of the bucket.
now we're thinking big.
Glue it onto
Start
there.
making our own.
We should do one of Hugh Jackman's abs and the belly button. I'm gonna stop.
No, keep it going.
Hard as a rock. Fuck. Didn't expect the belly button. I thought you were gonna say ass at first. I'm intrigued and I'm
Yeah,
in.
no,
Like the
I'm
Xbox
kind
controller.
of. Ooh, yes, yes. Just feeling up on some Deadpool ass.
Ooh. Man, that makes me so upset that they release that shit, or they just show it off for like you could possibly win this, and they never like show them actually like selling out in stores. It would do so much money, like it would get so much money.
So that was never retail. That was just like a giveaway sort of deal.
Giveaway.
Yeah, they do it all the time. Like they did it for the '97 X-Men too. They showed a full line of all the different X-Men. They're like, you could possibly win this, in a giveaway. They never come out. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Make bank off this stuff, and you're just doing giveaways. That was the moment we all look in each other's eyes. And
I mean, to be honest, I'm looking at Tyler and I'm thinking of the popcorn buckets, and I don't really know what
that's
to. If Chad
goddamn.
was here, then I would probably you'd probably see the table rocking. To be honest,
That is true.
Hell yeah.
Any of your tables rock when you watched Alien? For the
yeah. So there is a topic of conversation with Alien. That like a specific point of Alien where I don't know. Tyler, you know what I'm talking about? Towards the end, the thing I mentioned to you before.
Oh yeah, you go peeking in the shrubbery.
I've heard there's a cut with Sigourney Weaver Bush, and I need that in my life.
I think I know who you're talking about. Oh fuck.
I don't know if that's like factual, but I need that cut with the
I
Sigourney Weaver Bush.
I remember, didn't they fucking edit something out where she's in like, I don't know if her attire is wet or something, and you could see her bush, and they edited it out or something like that.
Maybe that's it.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That just how like my brain remembers it. I don't know if that's completely true. It's been a while since I've seen that, but I know about the bush. Everybody should know about the bush. But
Yeah, it's
but
because I wasn't sure like at what point the bush is like prevalent in the film, but I've always heard rumblings about the bush, and I very much would like to see the bush cut.
it was almost like a main character. So, I mean,
I mean,
Time to start a hashtag here.
bring
give
the
me the
bush.
bush cut. Fuck the Snyder cut. Give me the bush cut.
Snyder cut.
Ridley Scott.
Oof. What a couple years that was. Snyder cut.
Yeah, I'm glad I was never on that wavelength.
Can't tell if
I
it's a
got a
joke.
letter. I got a TikTok today, and it was like going through when this director releases something, and it shows like a letterbox score is like 5 out of 5. Shoot, I gotta find it. I can't show it on here, but it was just like when Steven Spielberg releases a movie, but you ignore half of his filmography, and it's like 5 stars, and it goes through like a different couple actors with like jokes about him, and then when Zack Snyder drops the movie, it's complete like crap, and then it's just 5 stars.
Eh,
It sounds funnier whenever it's on your For You page and you're scrolling through and you're like, ha, that's funny, and you like it.
Well, I mean, who's not a fan of a Zack Snyder dog pile? I mean, what has he done besides Dawn of the Dead and
I was about to
portions
say
of
Dawn.
300?
Yeah.
the only movie that really piqued my interest by him for like the last what was the last movie I watched? It was like Justice League, but I wasn't like super into that one. But it was the Las Vegas zombie movie,
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Like
That was like 2021 or something.
yeah, it was a while back. I got a little interest out of it. I was just intrigued. That's pretty much it though. And then they were like, more is coming, and then it's been forever. I do got to say the prequel to whatever that is, like the bank robbers. That was all right on its own.
Mm. Yeah, I don't really like. That was one where I was close to watching just because I do like Dawn of the Dead
Mm.
a lot, but I never got around to that one. But that did look like it'd be good.
It's
I tried to watch what was it, like Rebel Moon that he put on Netflix
yeah.
or whatever.
I
Hmm.
skipped
I
it.
couldn't get into it.
Wasn't it like his version of what he wanted, like a project of Star Wars to be, or something like that?
I
I
think so, and like the movie, like from what I heard, the ending like set up a part two, but like they've never made a part. I know it's like only been out for like a year or something.
Yeah, but a lot of people weren't feeling it.
Yeah, like we don't need a part two. They could have ended it in one movie.
the one big thing I kept seeing about the movie is like how bad the slow mo was, and how like
Mm.
much it dragged on. But I still haven't watched it. I don't think I will watch it, to be honest.
Yeah, I always hated his rendition of Batman, Superman, you name it. So I'm just really excited to see an actual good director in
Mm.
charge of that with James Gunn and stuff. So,
From what he's shown for his Superman, looks pretty good so far. Pretty spot on. Like just the inspirational Superman that we all love and need.
hmm
I want to see
and it
Batman.
looks, oh my gosh. Well, what I appreciate too with his direction with DC is it seems like he's still keeping the continuity with the Matt Reeves Batman, but they all are also going to be doing a Batman that kind of connects with the expanded universe.
Mm. And I just spotted out. I don't know what drove my eye to it. That was super creepy, Tyler. Like the way you came back, it was like all
That
dark. I was
really
like, "What the
was.
fuck
I
was
was
that?"
like, hold up, we're an unfriended.
I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like, it really kind of like spooked me out. I noticed on your back shelf you have an Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yes.
It's like my all-time favorite rendition of Spider-Man. Fuck yeah.
Dude, I so I got so wrapped up in Ultimate Spider-Man that I made it about midway through the first compendium, and the volume 2 was sold out everywhere, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to finish volume 1 and not immediately jump into volume 2, so I just stopped cold turkey where I was in
Mm.
volume 1 and was like, I need to get volume 2. I eventually got volume 2, and I still have yet to I feel like I just need to restart it, but I love that Spider-Man because I tried to read some of McFarlane's Spider-Man
Mm.
run, and it's like kind of ironic because I got a signed McFarlane issue 1 of
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man. But I love his artwork, but I just really couldn't get into the story necessarily.
I
But
can.
that
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man is actually pretty solid. I know it kind of dips in quality, I think, as like the years go on, but
Yeah. It
big fan.
it sucks because it kind of I didn't notice it as a kid when I was reading it, and like I always come back to Ultimate Spider-Man. Like out of all the different takes on Spider-Man, like, Ultimate always brings me back. It just there's such a good connection to you and to this like like any Peter Parker or Spider-Man, but that one just showed like the high school nerdy guy he was that turned into this still nerdy kid that is Spider-Man. But that one holds a grip on me. If you haven't yet, checked out the new Ultimate Spider-Man that is running right now, or I don't know when if it's ended, but that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's with kind of a older Peter
Mhm.
Parker, right?
Yeah, pretty solid
Yeah,
one.
that one looks like it'd be good. There's I've wanted to dabble into that one, and then there's also one where it's got Peter and Miles. I think it's like the Spectacular Spider-Men.
Mhm.
I think I can't remember who is writing that one, but that's one I've wanted to get into. I prefer when it's all in like one kind of like volume
Mhm.
as opposed to like individual issues. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Anything with Mark Bagley, like the person that does Ultimate Spider-Man, I usually go pretty heavy into. I think he did like a alternative cover for one of the newer Ultimate Spider-Mans, but pretty solid. Like yeah, this just captured my eye because it's just a big story that I really wrap my heart around, and I just saw it and I was like, oh hell yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, love me some Spider-Man, and I was wanting to read more into like some of the more like well-known editions, and that was one that caught my eye.
Mhm.
And they had it in the big compendium, so it's just straight through, and
Yeah.
I've really messed with it.
Fuck yeah.
So I just found an old stack of comic books, and like I was looking through it, and I've seen a couple Spider-Man ones in there, and like I need to go through and just see like if there any like the good issues or like just what they are.
It's it's very. I know like on eBay you can do it. I'm sure there's like comic websites you can scan the UPC and see if they're like
Yeah.
good. I have two issues that I just when you said that it reminded me. I got two first edition issues of the first issue one of Ultimate Spider-Man in my closet, and that's
Oh,
like
that's
always
awesome.
yeah. That was my first uh just experience really with Spider-Man was like Ultimate, other than like toys growing up. But my dad bought that for me, and I've kept them ever since. And that was my first insight on Ultimate Spider-Man. So that's a great story.
Es- Especially with like first like issues and just I mean like um singular issues in general. I feel like that's like kind of comics at like their most like charming, you know, not always the most accessible
Mm,
because there's like breaks for like ads and stuff like that, but I mean at its purest form, I mean those are the ones that get graded and
mm,
everything like that. So those are always like ones that are super nostalgic, I feel like.
yeah, I agree. I agree. West Virginia is for lovers. God damn.
You got that right.
Hell yeah.
You got one eyeing you down right now.
Yeah. Now this festival, like it was fine, but just the way that they went about changing the venue, like two
Yeah, wasn't
weeks
it supposed to be
beforehand.
outside at first, and then like they moved it inside?
Yeah, it was supposed to be at the ballpark,
Mm-hmm.
and then like 2 weeks beforehand, they posted that hey, we're actually switching to the Coliseum. Like,
Hmm.
and then I looked into it, and it was like kind of like the day before. I guess like just people like posting in the comment section being like, you guys didn't effectively communicate that this was supposed to be like a music festival. So then when the ballpark couldn't handle you, you're going to an indoor arena where you're going to have like they have two stages
Yeah.
in there. Like one huge, just normal stage, and then the other stage would be like the equivalent to like lining up a couple desks
Oh, kind
for
of like
like
an
the
auditorium
small,
kind
like,
of thing.
Smaller than that, really. Maybe like, okay, Chad, you've seen my front porch.
Yep.
About the size of my front porch.
Oh,
Yeah,
get about 3 people there.
yeah. And like the vendors that are supposed to be at like, a big outdoor festival, they might have only had like 10 vendors on like the inside, but that's still a lot of empty space.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they had in their mind, but it did not work out. So
So
I'm counting
I
on
missed a chapter. What festival was this?
is for lovers. It was like it's a early 2000s like emo
Oh,
like
yeah, no, okay, yeah, I seen that advertised. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
like
yeah,
didn't
back
know
in the
all that.
summer, like around like I think what July.
it was in
Yeah.
July. Yeah.
I didn't know all that that fiasco with it. Hmm.
Yeah. It was like um I got there about halfway through the day, so I missed the first half. And I was going for Under Oath because I love Under Oath. And it was like all the bands seemed like, I don't know, at least like happy to be there. And then Under Oath comes out, and I guess just where they're like the biggest band, they're headlining their own tours, they're playing with like Slipknot, they come here and like they're just like, doing the thing where they're running through their songs, like not even trying to like
They're just
engage with the
getting in, getting
crowd.
out.
Yeah. And then Aaron, their drummer, when he goes up to do like his one solo song that's acoustic, he's just like, "Hey, I have a relative that lives in West Virginia. I think they're in Morgantown. Is that like a football thing? You guys like football?"
Puke.
And then like the crowd's just like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, well here's my song." And then he plays it. Then he's like, you could tell he's just frustrated. Like he tried to like, land with the crowd.
Engage.
And yeah, and they're just not vibing with him.
Man, that sucks.
I thought about
I mean,
going,
they had
but the only
like
band I seen that I would have liked was Under Oath, and I was like, I don't know if I was gonna enjoy any of the other ones. I'm glad I didn't, since it like moved and had all the issues.
I mean, Under Oath, like they put on like they're great live in the first place, and Hawthorne Heights was good. I mean, all the bands that I saw that were there, like they're good, but it was just if they would have been able to stay outside, it would at least felt more like a music festival instead of going to a concert.
Okay.
You know,
And you always gotta love whenever like a celebrity just shows like some unapologetic ignorance as to where you're from and totally doesn't come off like a douche. You gotta love that.
yeah. Like the other frontman Under Oath, he was like, I think the last time we played here was in like 2004.
God
Like, were
damn.
any of you here in 2004? And there's maybe like a couple people like put their
It's
hand
like,
up, and
bro,
he's
I was
like,
3.
I was
Fuck.
5.
I was just born.
Old. Old.
Oh,
Fucking
I,
hell.
I, always, I always hate concerts here when like the artist will be like, "You West Virginians paid your cold hard cash."
Did y'all just get off a shift in the mines?
Like
Are y'all covered in
whether
soot?
whether it's been like for a concert or going to like a wrestling event or anything like that, they're always like, "You paid your money to be here. Your hard-earned money."
My last dime. Fuck yeah.
It's like, yeah, let me
Or there's
return to my box.
yeah. Or
Fuck.
you got bands like when I saw A Day to Remember, they thought they were in Virginia. So Jeremy's
God.
just up there going like, "What's up, Charleston, Virginia?" And I'm just like, "Oh, dude."
It's so crazy, like thinking that like these bands, it's cool that like games nowadays are getting West Virginia in them now. Like you got Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. They have like what, Chad, 2 or 3 maps of West Virginia.
Yeah, and
And
then the
then
zombies rap.
yeah, and then you got Fallout that has West Virginia, and then the bands are like, "Where the fuck am I? Like, what the fuck is this state? Like, I've never heard of it. Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah, I don't know why. It's not like I'm like bleed yellow and blue. It's just I feel like kind of like you just definitely come off as like a dick, especially. It's like, you know.
Yeah, it's understandable. Like, it's kind of unneeded. You just like say hi to wherever you're at, and then just kind of move on. You don't have to sugarcoat it to be like, I got a family member here or some shit like that. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty
just play your
wild.
song, dumbass.
That's why I love the singer of Hawthorne Heights, because he's from West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So he was up there and he's like, yeah, I grew up in West Virginia, and I was the weird kid that dyed their hair and got made fun of, and I was very happy to see my high school football team lose. And I'm like,
Hell yeah.
that's the West Virginian I like.
And then they just start busting down like they're not making a big ordeal about it.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I grew up here. It sucked, but I still love it.
Hmm.
Here's our hits.
Yeah, and it's like, what more could you ask for, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. West
I'd love to
Virginia.
see some. I'd love to see some midget wrestling.
They were in Beckley a couple months ago.
Are you guys talking about, I don't know, same
Any
thing.
midgets.
Oh, okay.
It sounds pretty self-explanatory.
Midgets in a wrestling ring.
Okay. I'm sorry. There's a TikTok that, there's a, goddamn, there's a TikTok, account,
I know who you're talking about. It's like there's like whole personas of
yes.
these, and like I think that's the technical term. Like it's midget wrestling. I think is the technical term. Little people,
Mhm. I mean,
that sort of. There is like there's like a big one. It's like something the Giant. It's like a play on Andre the Giant. It's like Andrew the Giant,
there's
and then there's
Psycho.
like yes, there's Psycho. I don't know all the midget wrestling lore, but I would very much like to be in the same room as them and breathe the same air as them. Probably be comparable to WrestleMania, I'd say.
Are you gonna watch the Vince McMahon documentary?
Yes, I will probably definitely not pirate that one because I rented Long Legs 3 times. I wouldn't pirate a Netflix series. I wouldn't do that. Yes, I do plan on watching that.
Yeah,
Understandable.
I've confessed enough of my sins to Tyler to be on the line of maybe getting pulled into an office or something. So
Yeah, I'm sure Discord has like logs and logs of conversations. So it was nice knowing you all.
yeah,
But the Dune, the popcorn bucket's on record, so I'll stand by that.
I'm gonna stand by that too. I'll record it if need be. So
That'll go in a short.
yeah, you gotta pay
Play it
cash
at
for
my
that.
wedding.
Oh
Play it at my wedding for all I care.
fuck.
Time to play the game.
I am obsessed with that video. I have it saved to my phone. And then when I wake up in the morning, I think of it.
So I have one friend, and that's like the only like format of like anything on TikTok he'll send me. If I wake up and I have 10 of them, 9 of them are the it's time to play the game.
You know what they are. It's time to play the game. Ha ha ha. So should we talk about aliens?
Talk about that alien.
I mean, we talked about Sigourney Weaver Bush.
That was pretty pinnacle. I mean,
We talked about the popcorn bucket that you could or receive from.
a hard choice to make. Guess I'm gonna have to flip a coin.
Hmm.
I mean, one thing like I told Brandon about this. Of course, like I got sick like right after I watched it, and maybe it was just me like not feeling the best watching it in the first place. I wasn't vibing with it as hard as I remember.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, like I respect it still. Like it's a really good movie, but I don't know if it was just like I know what to expect when watching it. That whenever stuff was happening, I was like, eh.
See, I commented on the review that you had posted because one thing I can't stand is like echo chambers because you can always sing the praises of something, but it is good to be able to have like a diverse like sort of perspective on each subsequent rewatch. And see, for me, funny enough, it was kind of like the opposite effect. Like for the longest time, I was like, "What's wrong with me? Like, why can I not get into Alien? Like, there's so much. Like, it's from the '70s. It's horror. It's Ridley Scott. It's Alien. Like, why can I not get into it?" And this last time I rewatched it this past week, I was just like hook, line, and sinker. I mean, I was like, I was there for every part that I wasn't before the couple times that I had rewatched it previous or that I had watched it previously, and it was just hidden for me. I mean, it was really cool because the prior times I was really bored on a lot of those first watches, but I don't know, something just clicked with me this time. I very much enjoyed it this time, but I can always appreciate like differing opinions for whenever you're rewatching something.
Like I feel like I didn't remember that most of the kills were all cutaway.
Well, I
Like,
think I think some of that also depends on the cut of the film because there's the director's cut and then there's the theatrical cut, which what I'd watched this past time was the theatrical cut, and I'd missed out on something spoilers for a 40-year-old movie, almost going on 50, for Brett's death. There was a cutaway of the alien kind of like coming down from the ceiling whenever like that water was kind of trickling from the ceiling, and that wasn't in the theatrical cut. That was in the director's cut. So I do think it kind of depends on which cut you watch, but yeah, I think the majority of it was kind of cutaways. So I see what you mean on that.
like in my head, I feel like I remember picturing it like
Oh shit.
that was cat shenanigans.
Definitely cat,
Um,
nothing paranormal.
Yeah, I didn't see a cat.
no. Well, I guess he was blocked right by my chair, so that works out for him.
Don't lie for them.
Um, yeah, I just felt like I remember like deaths being like more brutal, and maybe that's just something where like I've watched the entire franchise. It's been a couple years. I've just watched so many movies where it all just blends in, and like the only like I guess really gory situation is the chest bursting scene, which still like really holds up. But then I see when the little baby alien like scoots across the table, I just can't help but laugh because it's like,
It's like a little mouse.
Little
yeah,
thing.
That
I don't
was
know, like
actually a perfect impression. Thank you for that.
you're welcome. Now I don't know, maybe I'd watch it tomorrow. It'd be like, what was that? I guess I was just like starting to come down with it, so I was just like in a hateful like mindset, and I'd be like, yeah, I love this movie, but I don't know, like I still like respect it a lot, and I think it's good. It's just it didn't hold up to what I remember.
So this being my first time watching it, I enjoyed it.
First time watching it. That's crazy.
Yeah, there are so many movies that I have not watched. It's bad. I need to catch up.
I think I think Alien's a top tier horror film. I feel like nowadays, like in the generation that we are in, it kind of gets forgotten until like a new movie comes out that kind of reminds people that it is still a thing. I feel like it's kind of like just in a background scenario for some cases, because like when you think horror, you don't really jump to like Alien or something like that. You just think of like Michael Myers and all them type of type of people. But I like how I saw a picture. I can't remember where it was, but how almost mechanical the alien kind of looks sometimes when it's like next to like black wiring. Like as it could almost like blend in, and you wouldn't even
Mhm.
think because it's so futuristic that you're like that almost looks normal. And I just love that kind of unique look, slender, slick black look to it. That is just kind of it's really lethal. It's scary.
Well, like
Chad,
at
did
the end.
any?
Sorry, you're fine.
No, go ahead because I think you're thinking of what I'm thinking of.
At the end, whenever Ripley's in the shuttle,
Mhm.
and then it's hiding away there, literally
Yeah.
That
within the ship.
still got me.
Like I knew it was there, but I'm
Like,
still like, oh, that did
same.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Chad, if being your first watch, did any parts like get you at all, or were you just straight like big balling it?
The only thing that like kind of surprised me was I can't remember what his name is, but like the captain dude that was the android or being like the robot or whatever. That was the only
Yeah,
thing that I
Ash.
couldn't like. Yeah,
Yeah,
that I was like, okay, I didn't see that coming. But then like after that,
that's
I was
cool
like,
too.
yeah. Um,
Uh,
I did like the ending though, how like he like snuck on the back of it and then like she did the jet thing, the boosters. I
yeah,
was
it's funny.
good.
I was just gonna say it's funny how it's like a 50-year-old movie, but it's still got like the build up and stuff that
Hmm.
leads up to still good scares.
It's got me considering watching like the other movies in the franchise.
Aliens.
Aliens.
You could skip the rest of them for the most part,
Okay,
but Aliens.
No.
Which
I'm with
I
that.
mean, if you like the more like the AI, you know, spin with Ash.
Hmm.
I mean, Aliens has a good synthetic, and then Prometheus and Covenant also heavily focus on having a synthetic
Okay.
character.
Dude, no matter what people say, I'm always gonna love Prometheus and Covenant.
I enjoy Covenant a lot. Prometheus, I think like if I went back and rewatched it, I would like it more. But I remember watching it the first time, watching the entire like franchise at once, and then I get to Prometheus, and like yeah, I was still like, well, this is better than the past like two movies, but I'm still like, it's not Alien,
Mm.
you know. But like overall, I think I have a different opinion on it now.
So I've only seen Alien and Romulus. I've always been curious as to how different Prometheus and maybe not so much Covenant, but definitely Prometheus are compared to the rest of the franchise because Prometheus is a prequel to Alien, right?
Mm. Yeah,
Um, without any spoilers, I feel like it's more of a movie that is very. I can't speak today. Vivi, and then saying all this stupid shit. It's very lore heavy, so you will get like um a very much experimental type movie instead of like it's still horror, but you get. I feel like you get a lot of story. Um,
Yeah, and with a movie that's like I believe like what like fifth, not counting the Alien versus Predators, like fifth movie in a franchise. I mean, you'd like for them to be able to kind of differ
mhm.
up what they're doing because for a while it was just kind of like throwaway action.
Yeah, you get a lot of like. I mean, I'm gonna have to rewatch it now because like a lot of it's to just refresh my brain because I can't remember a lot of it. But yeah, it dives deep into like Tyler was saying, like the what are they cyborgs, robots or whatever the
yeah,
whatever the term
synthetic.
synthetic. Uh, it it dives deep into that. It's almost like a POV of a synthetic, and I kind of like that. Um,
Has everyone seen Romulus?
I have not, sadly.
Nope.
I want to badly because like the trailers look great.
Boys. That has like the synthetic in that has my whole heart. Andy, that's my dog. Y'all need to watch that.
I really want to. That was like the first trailer or anything that has to do with aliens that the facehugger kind of fucking creeped me out. It made me feel like a dirty little whore after looking at it. Like I was like, ugh, what the fuck is that?
Kingdom
Mhm.
Light
Yeah, I was like,
coming down the hall.
made me feel gross.
Yeah, what I love about like the effects for that film is how much practical they used.
Mhm.
I mean, that's one of the big things is how much practical effects they used. Um, just going off, what were you gonna say?
Who?
I thought someone was gonna say
Oh,
something. Um, going off my notes, I oh, and well, this kind of piggybacks off of that, but for Alien, I love how all the characters kind of like have their own like personality and stuff. Like they're all like distinct in their own way. Like the first note that I took was I love how Brett and Parker just want to get their money and get off the ship. Like I feel like they're two of like kind of if you could like pinpoint like comic relief onto characters in a film like that, you would put it on them too. Like I really like them, and kind of going off of what Chad had said about Ash. What's cool is on some of those rewatches that you get, you can kind of see, or if you know that Ash is a synthetic, like whenever they're all at the dinner table and he already knows that I can't remember who it was, but he has the alien in his chest. He already
Hank,
knows.
Hmm.
I think's his name.
Yeah, he already knows that he has that in him. So you catch these shots where he's just like glimpsing at him whenever he's like starting to like you think he's just choking on his food because he already has the idea of what's unfolding.
like that aspect. Since you haven't watched Prometheus, like that is a good way to kind of look at Prometheus. Honestly, like that viewing is like expanded almost with it without like saying any spoilers or anything like that. So I think if you haven't watched those ones, or well, I mean the rest of the movies you might like, but Prometheus and Covenant really hit the kind of the nail on the head on that one on like that perspective of it.
I wish that Ridley Scott would have been able to finish the Prometheus story in full. And I mean, like, I know Romulus is, has good ratings and everything, but we only have Romulus because of people complaining that Prometheus and Covenant didn't feel like Alien,
Mhm.
that kind of situation. So it's more
Yeah,
like a back to basics, which is fine, but I still feel like, Ridley Scott still had one more movie that he wanted to do.
I wish they would
But
get back to it because I found it interesting. Even when it first came out, I remember a lot of people were shitting on it and saying this isn't aliens and blah blah blah. But honestly, it was still in the me personally, I still felt like it fit really well. It was just like its own backstory. It was leading to where it needed to go. I mean, you have these different. I don't want to say like any spoilers, but it has like different takes in it to get where you need to be. But it still felt to me good.
So, what was your all's opinion on Covenant? Because it kind of seemed like that was more so leaning into the alien aspect that wasn't really in Prometheus. I mean, if I could say that without watching it, just because there was more like alien in the marketing and stuff.
It was heavy in the trailer. I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. I mean, Covenant definitely feels like more of the transition into the not straight horror like the original Alien has, but more in the vibe of like where Aliens is a straight up like sci-fi action movie with horror elements. That's
Mhm.
more so what Covenant feels like.
Yeah. I agree.
Like when I think of Covenant, I mean it's not no spoilers or anything, but when I think Covenant, I think of like the cornfield kind of scene.
That was
I don't know if it's a
exactly what I was
cornfield,
thinking.
but like the open field.
Hmm.
When I think Covenant, that's what I think about.
Yep. I was as soon as you were saying all that stuff, I was like, the only scene I see in my head is that area, and that's what I imagine Covenant. It it has that weird, yeah, like you said, sci-fi action type thing instead of like there is horror, but it's not like in your face horror because like when I think of that, I think of Predators. When it was like less horror, it was more action and like having to survive type thing, and that's what kind of Covenant reminds me of. Like we have to survive and get do what we gotta do. It all in all, like if I had to choose between Covenant and Prometheus, I would probably damn it's gonna be. I think I would go with Prometheus just because of I like the I just liked how different it was. I don't know. It's just like it was so different. It kind of intrigued me a lot more. But Covenant is good. Covenant's good. I like Covenant.
What about you, T-Bell, between Prometheus and Covenant?
Just with what I remember Covenant, but maybe a rewatch, I'd have to think a little bit more. I just remember when I watched Prometheus, it was just the whole vibe of this doesn't feel like Alien. Still a fine movie. It's just it wasn't what I was expecting.
I would
But
have
better
to.
than Alien 3.
I'm gonna have to rewatch them too, just to refresh my memory. I need to just go through them
I
all.
remember
Same.
Brandon was sending me like his kind of thoughts, and he was taking like I guess like the sexual um undertones. I feel like if you'd watch through the franchise and you get to like Alien 3, you'd see a lot more of that.
See, because I was kind of curious as to how much that would kind of carry into the later like films and stuff. And I read this thing on it because I was like, I felt like I'd heard that discourse before about there being kind of like provocative, like sexual elements and stuff. But I didn't know if that was something I like kind of misunderstood. But there was a lot of like articles and stuff written about that back when it came out and just over the years. But Ridley Scott says that he really wasn't going for necessarily like sexual assault kind of aspects whenever you're talking about like the face hugger and that being kind of like being something like something being forced inside you and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I was definitely curious because I know it kind of just leans more into like some of the more action aspects in the later film, so I was curious as to how much that would carry over.
Alien 3 for the
I
worst,
I
but
feel
Alien 3.
like Yeah, I feel like I kind of have heard rumblings about what that is, but
You know what? There's also one that it reminds me of, like the forceful aspect is Alien versus Predator Requiem. In the hospital scene where the without spoilers, like the hybrid, like it kind of like does a weird different. It's not a face hugger type thing. It's where the hybrid can actually get people pregnant, and it's that woman that was already pregnant in the hospital, and it was just like attached to her face. It that one was just like, oh god, what is this?
I mean, you could see what was going on in that movie.
Ah, I had to turn my brightness up, bro. I was like, I had to do a bunch of crap.
I remember watching that on my phone, so I had that brightness set to
Dude,
max
I went back to that.
and still could not see
Within
anything.
the last 2 years, I was like, I don't know how they fucking I don't know what the fuck they did to this movie, but yeah, crazy. That was the only other one I remember.
um Another aspect, as far as what I saw in the original, if I mean, maybe I was grasping at straws, but it seemed really like provocative as far as like a sexual aspect for like undertones and stuff. And again, it kind of makes it, that much more like triumphant because it's you got a strong female protagonist and, she prevails at the end. Um, Whenever Ash is trying to kill Ripley, he's like shoving, I can't even remember what he's shoving down her throat, but he is like shoving like it's almost like a rolled up piece of paper down her like
Yeah, like a
throat.
newspaper.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and before Parker, I believe it was, shows up to help. I mean, it was like really like uncomfortable to watch, which is again, something cool about a film that old is it's still able to kind of elicit all those different emotions.
Seeing Ash's face and body covered in his fluids,
Yes.
that's enough for me to where, like, I remember when I first watched it the first time, there was a part of me that was like, "This is stupid. This looks stupid," and the other part of me that's like, "Ew, that's
That's
gross."
cum. That's cum right there.
Yeah,
That's cum.
like I had both those thoughts, and I was like, I don't know which one's wrong to think, but I feel both of them.
Yeah.
I love that. That's probably the quote of the night. That's come.
That's cum.
Yeah, I bet they done that to get around the like the motion picture like scale at that time or something, probably to make it like an X-rated.
Yeah, imagine like
Um,
being blood. That'd be kind of crazy how
Absolutely
unfortunate it had
covered
to
in
be.
blood. Kind of with the another thing that was previously mentioned with the alien kind of around the like mechanical like machinery and stuff. There's this one shot specifically towards the end where Ripley is waiting on the xenomorph to get up so she could kind of lure it to her. Where you're getting that flashing light from like the alarm system going off, and it almost kind of appears the xenomorph. It almost kind of appears like stop motion esque,
Hmm.
so it's moving really unnaturally. And when I saw that, it just made me like just really like gutturally uncomfortable, just because of how you know unnatural it looked. And I feel like that's, I mean, going back to even, some scenes where it does look mechanical, I mean, I feel like it just really adds to the overall aura of the creature itself, and just, making Ripley feel that much more vulnerable.
Dude, facing something like that with the lights going at you, it would probably mess with your reflexes because you're looking at it and it's probably making it look a little bit slower. And if yeah, that would be kind of horrifying.
Hmm.
It definitely gave me Jaws vibes because okay, one, can we talk about, do y'all remember that scene where she left the fucking cat? I was like, excuse me? Like, she was carrying the cat, and then she saw the xenomorph. She drops the cat, and then there's bolts to set the alarm system. She goes back to get the cat. But I was like, holy shit. Like, I mean,
Good
I don't
idea.
know.
Toss it at it. Fuck.
Yeah, honestly.
That cat is like top three best animal performances or animal characters in
Top three goodest
movies.
boys.
Shout out
Yeah,
Jones. Shout out Jonesy.
I would put the cat from Alien. Um,
I
see, I'm
haven't
trying to
watched
think of
the
actual
I haven't watched the
cats.
movie, but you got to put the Quiet Place cat in there because I don't know how it made it through the whole movie.
Okay, the new Quiet Place. I've not watched the previous ones,
I haven't
but I
either.
watched day one. I don't know why. Also, it was while I was sick. I just put something up just to have it on, and I was
Mhm.
watching it. The cat was my favorite character.
He's the goodest boy.
It was a very good cat.
I like the cat
Very
from
tame.
Coraline. It's like Keith David.
That's a good cat.
Does the Cat in the Hat count? Mike Myers.
Oh god.
I'm just gonna throw in the cat from Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good
I
one.
can't think of his name, but
I can't either. That's a good one though.
I was thinking of some dudes with some luscious ass voices, and it made me remember how we need to pour one out for James Earl Jones.
Yeah. Sad day. Sad day for Darth Vader. I wonder if they'll do anything for him.
Knowing Disney, they're probably gonna do some fuck shit.
Yeah. AI.
didn't
Oh.
he sign his rights over to do AI?
Yep. They can do
That's
anything with
what
his
Saturday.
voice.
I want to say in the past year or so, I remember seeing something about
Yep.
specifically using Vader's voice.
Yeah. That was what was it? They used it in something recently. It was purely AI. I can't remember what it was. It was one of the recent one of the recent projects. I mean, I don't know what it was, but unless that was a complete lie, but they said that there was AI voice work for him in one of the recent projects.
Like was he in the animated or the live action Lion King?
I've heard
I
something about that.
believe.
Oh, so that's the last
I
thing I can think
thought.
of. And they're making another like Mufasa movie, I think. So maybe
Yeah,
That's
something like
right.
that.
his voice is gonna live on past us.
Yeah.
We've still got Harrison Ford, and we have Mark Hamill.
Listen,
Ian McDermott.
I love all Star Wars stuff. I've kind of fallen off recent years, I guess. But the one biggest thing I wish they would have done is just got Luke and Han and all of them together in a film again. But man, it's sad that it's impossible now. And I mean, even if they did something small with Harrison and Mark Hamill, it's just not going to feel the same. And also, like, and it's like beside the fact, but somebody that I guess is in control of what's the guy's name that is like is the character that's in Star Wars that talks to Vader and the Emperor a lot, Tarkin. His voice or his look was in Rogue One that wasn't him. The whole like CGI stuff. Somebody is suing, um, I guess Lucasfilm because they didn't ask him to do it. Not Tarkin the actor, but like this person that is I guess is close friends with him. He is suing them for not asking for his permission because I guess the guy that played Tarkin said that he was supposed to say yes or no. I don't know the whole backstory. I just saw that today somewhere.
Peter Cushing died in the 90s. So
I
I would
don't
have
know.
assumed it would have been up to their family to approve.
It's probably just somebody coming out of the woodworks like I had the last word. I get money now. Type stupid shit, but um,
Even more of a reason I'd like for you all to see Romulus, not spoiling who it is, and hopefully you all don't find out, but there is a character from one of the earlier films that the actor is not living, and they do appear in Romulus, and they're like a relatively big part. And I knew who it was, and whenever I saw it, I didn't necessarily mind it, but I mean, you're always gonna have that like uncanny valley sort of aspect when you're dealing with any de-aging or just fully CG characters. Like, I don't know. It's always something, and it's always gonna be kind of weird.
They haven't really nailed it in anything recent I've seen. It always is that uncanny valley.
I
I
thought that
what is it?
Indiana Jones and the new Indiana Jones, his de aging, I thought looked really good.
Yeah, uh, yeah, that one. For the only thing that kind of threw me off was when he would have the de-age face on. I could still tell it's an old man body. I could still tell.
You can still tell that's 80 something year old Harrison Ford speaking. That's
Yes,
what was so
yes.
weird. They did not pitch his voice up at all, it seemed like. I mean, aesthetically, I wish the entire movie was something like that because I will forever say fuck that movie, fuck that film. And but that first opening like 20 minutes was like I wish it would have just ended after that.
I know. When me and Tyler originally talked about it, I think we had two different perspectives of like. I think if I remember correctly, you liked it for the most part. Maybe it's been a minute since we talked about it, unless it's changed completely.
He's
I
a
would
Dial
say
of Destiny apologist.
compared for it's weird because like I feel like at least leaving the story off. Honestly, I'm trying to think of Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny, and I'm thinking, well, which one is actually a better like ending for the character? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, fighting aliens is kind of weird, or like the whole alien thing. That's a little bit out there for Indiana Jones. And then I was like, wait, he literally just time traveled. So
Yeah.
actually, I don't know which one sounds worse.
Personally, in my head, if I had to choose between the two, and I didn't not like uh Crystal Skull, but I was little when I watched it, and I liked it for back then. But now looking at it in like a whole, if I had to choose between Dial of Destiny and Crystal Skull, I would probably want Crystal Skull to be the ending, because Dial of Destiny, the de aging was cool, even though I had like some gripes with it. Some characters are cool, but it just felt it it I don't. It didn't feel like a strong Indiana Jones movie. It felt like I'm watching a retired man, kind of just. I mean, I guess he is, but it just felt like an old elderly man getting his last adventure and getting the shit beat out of him, and then just kind of giving up. I don't know if I'm just kind of thinking of it too harshly, but it didn't grab me
You're
like the other
not.
ones. It was just like this was not the story I was expecting an Indiana Jones story to be. Chasing this girl for this piece, and I really didn't like her character at all, to be honest. I could just live without her character. If it was just about her dad and Indy, I could have gotten through this movie. But her being just this fucking asshole the whole time, I was like, I don't really get it. I don't understand her character really. But if it was just like you said, the CGI at the beginning, young him, and what was his name? Uh, something, some animal, I
The
think.
the antagonist.
No, his friend.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember his name.
See, as far as like a film you could finish Indiana Jones off on one hand, you got Dial of Destiny, where by the end of the film, he's just ready to just belly up and die in this prehistoric age, and it's like just really depressing. And then on the other hand, you got Shia LaBeouf. So like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
I'd
yeah.
rather just stand on the ending of getting the Holy Grail and riding off in the sunset.
That's
To
a good
me,
one.
that is peak.
Yeah,
that's my
But
headcanon.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
personally, that's where I would stop.
Also, like in Dial of Destiny, when they're like, "My son got killed in the war," just to solve that problem, I was like, "What? The fuck?"
I completely forgot that.
I,
That is so fucking hilarious because I feel like it's so disjointed. It feels like those two movies don't even
yeah,
like coincide. That's so
you could
funny.
have left the whole Shy thing like out. You didn't even have to bring his name up, like him at all in the movie. You could have been like, "Yeah, he's fine."
Mhm.
Nothing else about it.
Yeah.
No, he had to go into a little sad story of this is why he's not in this movie. You could have been anything. Could have been anything.
And it's like that's why me and Marion are divorced. And it's just like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, are I watching Indiana Jones or freaking like what am I watching, dude?
Turned into a drama quick. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, yeah.
My marriage fine? I don't know anymore. Fuck. I don't
Turn in
know.
some damn desperate housewives.
Yeah, I don't know. I am excited for the Indiana Jones game just because I'm a sucker, and I'm hoping it's good. You know, Troy Baker does pretty good in most games, so we'll see.
I felt pretty icky that it was first person, but I mean nonetheless, yeah, I'm a shill,
Yeah,
so I'll buy it.
it's yeah, the third person. I know there's like aspects of like him climbing up the wall. You can go into third person and
Mhm.
such. But it does feel like, I mean, the past games were, you know, third person. Why not dive deep in that as well? So you got to see the veins on his wrists to feel like Indiana Jones, I guess. So
Mm. But yeah, Alien, good movie.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
we all want to get impregnated. Why did they put nails on the fucking face hugger? Like, that's one big question I want to know is why is there nails on it? That feels very, very rapey. I mean, it is.
Nails?
Yeah, if the like the fingers, I guess. If you there's like
Oh no.
they showed, I think the Romulus one. I don't know if they all have nails, but I think the Romulus face huggers from the behind the scenes I've seen, there is nails on
Ugh.
the end of them. I was just like, that's fucking disgusting.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I don't like that.
Mm. It's like, I'm already getting mouth fucked. Why do you gotta fucking put your nails in my head? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Fuck.
yeah, the fuckable popcorn bucket tier list is I'll be I'll be coming up with that. That'll be on the next one for sure.
Do the new soggy biscuit. You know, we pass it around, have her go at it, and then we'll make a Patreon and we'll like whoever. You know.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I'm just glad Chad filled me in on the Terrifier 3 popcorn bucket release. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna miss out on that, and I will be getting to maybe 4.
I think we just need one. Just pass it around.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I think I mean if there's no more topics, we are at an hour and 48 minutes. So this might be the longest one.
Only thing I think of is what we have coming up next, which is Agatha and the Penguin, which I think is next week.
Yes. Yep. I think one's going to be interesting. They say that it leads at the end of that season. It leads right into Batman 2. So I'm pretty excited for that. I hope.
Let's go Agatha.
Yeah, Agatha is looking nice.
I hope it's good.
If it's anything like WandaVision, you know, I'm all for it. So
I didn't realize that it's not just like a sequel. It's supposed to be like the second part in a trilogy. I seen that somewhere online that they're like continuing it, and then I guess after Agatha there'll be something else.
Is it going to be might be the Vision show that they were talking about?
Maybe, or I'm thinking maybe a Wanda movie or something, because I know she doesn't have one yet.
Huh.
Which is kind of surprising. She'll have her own, but
Yeah, I've been
I don't know.
hearing that. I think we talked about it in the Instagram chat of Ultron coming back in the Vision show. So that's going to be interesting. Then Secret Wars is coming, and they're saying they're trying to figure out Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire having something to do with each other in that. I think it would be just a fun movie. I know they probably won't ever do it since the budget, but I think a Tobey Maguire and Deadpool and Wolverine movie would be pretty fun. I mean,
Yeah.
I know they were talking about Tom Holland and Deadpool and Wolverine, so that might be cool as well if they ever did it. But
Yeah, I'll probably be watching the Ping one.
I think it's gonna be fun. There was I keep seeing these things on Twitter. I don't know if they're all true or not. I do follow some accounts that are pretty good with their information, but they're saying that the next Spider-Man somehow the spell is going to be unbroken with how people don't know who Peter Parker is, and I hope that that's not true. I hope that they don't just like say fuck it, we're not doing that anymore. So
They probably would though.
honestly, yeah, if it works better for I guess the story of the future movies, maybe. But and then what's since Spider-Man's on this little topic, the next Into the Spider-Verse, what is it called? Across the Spider-Verse?
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's like delayed, or they scrapped it until 2027 to work on it, or the next one. So I don't.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I am devastated and probably will never recover.
That's a crazy amount of time. But I guess
Yeah.
if you scrap the whole fucking movie, you need that much time. So
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I'd rather them, put all their effort into it and make it what we want rather than just throw something out there
Yeah.
and it be good.
I mean, Sony knows what the fans want. I mean, what we really want is Craven the Hunter and Madam Web 2. Am I right, boys?
I want Morbius too.
Morbius, Morphin time, Morbius time, whatever the fuck he said. That
More
character.
Morbin time.
That movie was
I
something.
want this 6 o'clock.
Fucking hell, dude. Sony. Their wisdom. Jesus. They just need to make their own Spider-Man movie again. Just one that's not connected to Tom Holland. It's just like a derpy version.
I'd like Andrew Garfield to get a good send-off movie.
I do too. You know what? Like he was honestly one of my favorite Spider-Mans. I'm not gonna lie.
He got the shit end of the stick of the studio stick.
As much as people want to shit on like the love story aspect, I thought he was a great Peter and a great Spider-Man. So, fuck. But if that is the end of the topics, I think this will wrap this one up. Honestly, I liked you being a guest on here, and if you want to come on here anytime you want, fuck yeah, do that. I think it's fun. I think you bring a comedic aspect to it that's really nice. So
Well, I've already invaded the Discord chat, so
yeah,
anytime I feel like I could maybe give some insight on the things, I will definitely, and y'all will have me. I will definitely participate.
I think the next one, if we can work it out, good. Putting it in the back of my head right now, but Fertig, if I'm sure you know who he is, he is most likely going to be a guest on here, and I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but that's the next one for people if you want to see it. If I know outside viewers aren't going to know really much about him other than people that live around us, which I'm trying to get this podcast out there more to people that's like around here and like subscribe, do all this crap. We're not. I don't think we're the best at monetizing it just because we got so little content out. We're trying on TikTok, and Tyler's done a great job of that because trust me, I'm shit at throwing out shorts. I'm just like, this is funny and type shit, but yeah.
I'll most definitely share it on all my platforms and stuff, and I got my own YouTube that I need to
Oh,
hop back on and stuff. So I'll
alright.
most certainly be boosting that, especially again, like I said, whenever I first got exposed to it, I was like, this is like the kind of stuff I like to watch.
Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah, this like, I tried doing podcasting before, it kinda fell through, and now doing this, it feels right because, we got, like, this group that loves the things that, that we like. I mean, Tyler loves horror and all pop culture, you can see it. I mean, I'm gonna come on that fucking horror mask in a matter of time. Just saying. Heads up, there's 3 of 'em. Heads up. Um But I just think it's a nice group. It's forming good. The content's forming good. I didn't, there's always that scare in the back of your head. You're like, you feel like maybe this will fall through, or we're not all always going to be all interested in the same thing. So I think this is, a great project.
and the exposure that you're gonna get next time whenever Chad has his webcam is really gonna be
Yeah,
what thrusts it over the top
hell yeah.
for the exposure. So
100%,
Fuck
gonna have
yeah.
Ch- gonna have Chad in the Terrifier 3 popcorn bucket. So
Yeah, it's just gonna
stay
be
tuned.
him sitting, and it's just gonna be on his lap. It's just gonna be right there.
Just
We're all gonna have fucking popcorn buckets just sitting there.
anyways, welcome back.
But yeah, I think this is the fourth, right? Third.
Third.
I do have bonus content. I should have done it when the 3 of us were in here talking, but I didn't want to make anybody feel awkward recording stuff. But I do have some of those that I could be uploading soon for bonus little miniature episode things. But yeah, hell yeah.